Ed Sealover, senior reporter with the Denver Business Journal. Welcome back on the Business Break.
Thanks for having me once again, Ryan.
Always good to have you. Now, in a recent report you did, Ed, you noted that leaders from the Downtown Denver Partnership acknowledged during their recent annual meeting that the state of Denver's city core has been in decline. Yet some are also sounding the bugle of optimism in the days ahead. Give us the rundown.
Yeah, this was an unusually frank assessment by the Denver Downtown Partnership and by its first-year leader, CEO Courtney Garrett. Of course, she came out and she said, yes, we've got visitor levels back at 89% of pre-pandemic levels. More than $2 billion of projects are underway. But she also said, perhaps the most visible reality today is the decline in the activity, energy, and vibrancy Denver is known for. And she said Denver has got to work to eradicate some of the homelessness it's going through, to improve its public safety, and to transform some of the office spaces that simply are not going to come back to office use.
So let's touch on that a little bit more. You noted some of the numbers in the report you published as well. It indicated that 89% of the visitor numbers are back to pre-pandemic levels. More than $2 billion in development projects are underway in the city core. And as you noted, 500 hotel rooms are under construction yet. Homelessness is up 13%, according to a new survey. The number of office workers coming downtown is just 51% of 2019 numbers. And as you noted, the energy and vitality is not what it was. What are they saying it's going to take to bring back the economic engine and the positive energy downtown Denver has been known for in the past?
Well, I think two of those numbers are worth focusing on. That is the 89% of visitors that have returned from pre-pandemic days and the 51% of office workers. The key to vitality to downtown is, quite frankly, having a lot of people there. Having a lot of people there during the weekdays in order to prop up your businesses, having a lot of people there during the weekends in order to prop up your entertainment and restaurant and retail venues. And what this report essentially said is, at 51%, 2+ years after the pandemic, it's not coming back. The offices that are necessary to provide the everyday people who are going to shop in shops, who are going to eat at restaurants, who are going to keep other Denver businesses alive are not coming back. And that is one of the reasons that people have looked at this and said, okay, we've seen this rise in homelessness and more importantly, a rise in crime. I think that's what most people are viewing as the big problem for downtown is not just the encampments on the street, but the open drug use and some of the other threats that come from some of the more unsavory characters who've inhabited downtown because there are less people in downtown on a daily basis. And so what they said they have to do is to get people back, but maybe in a different way. Instead of looking at this as we're going to refill these giant office towers, Garrett said, look, we're already working on projects where we're trying to fill those office spaces, maybe with residential or maybe something else, acknowledging that in a work from home era, downtowns are going to take on a different place in society than they used to take on as the hubs of all business activity for a city.
Yeah, so rise in homelessness, the lack of perhaps a public safety presence. Is this more about the perception, though, Ed, of crime in downtown versus the reality? Or is it actually, no, the reality versus the perception? What's your take on that?
Well, I think it's about both, but I think the most interesting answer to that question would come if you were asking her from Sarah Rockwell, who is the outgoing board chairwoman of the Downtown Denver Partnership Management Group, who said, we must focus on ensuring that downtown Denver not only is safe, but feels safe. Look, the reason it doesn't feel safe is because there is a documented rise in crime, particularly in the Denver Union Station and downtown core areas over the past 2 years. But the fact is, even if that crime were to go down precipitously, people aren't going to start coming back, especially those who ride the trains in on a daily basis of their downtown offices, until they really feel safe. And so downtown leaders have to do two things. They have to work with the Denver police, and Garrett acknowledged we are working with the Denver police to pick up public safety safety downtown and to make sure that the activities that are scaring people away are not happening. But once that happens, then they also need to sound the trumpets. Look, you can come back downtown. It's safe again. For no matter how much the crime goes down, if people who live in other parts of the metro area but have to travel downtown for work are telling their bosses that they do not want to come downtown for work because they do not feel safe, downtown isn't coming back.
Yeah, and without doubt, I think it's pretty clear to most of us in the business community and who are civically involved. Public safety and economic vitality go hand in hand, and so you have to have one in order to have the other. The interesting part is, at least from my perspective, is how much more public safety presence is needed, and is that really the long-term solution? Because interestingly enough, it's kind of a catch-22. On the one hand, you want public safety available and there when something happens. On the other hand, if you're going downtown or anywhere for that matter, and you notice more public safety presence, then sometimes you wonder, well, is it safe to be down here when you have that many public safety people, if you will, on the streets and available? So don't necessarily know what the exact solution is, but I certainly agree that the Downtown Denver Partnership and all those, both in the civic and business communities in and around the Denver area, need to provide some solutions that get the downtown core back moving in the right direction. Ed Sealover with the Denver Business Journal. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on today, Ryan.